So, HRUnite community, I cannot wait because I am speaking to one of the people that when you think of Gallup strengths, the first thing I think about when I think about Jill is woo. And I say that, I didn't say that with my normal woo voice, but Jill McCarthy and I actually were introduced through a mutual friend, Noel Parsons, and we did a Disrupt HR South Bend event together a few years ago. And first of all, when I instantly met Jill, she is just an amazing person, radiates that positivity in the room and just somebody that you naturally want to get to know. But after she did her session at Disrupt, I was like, hey, Jill, how do you feel about walks along the Cass River in July and buttered noodles? And oh, yeah, maybe the Bronner's Christmas store. And so Jill has been part of HRUnite annual conference the last 2 years, but just a wonderful person and her ability to bring people together to better themselves and help us find our powers within, as well as help others communicate is such a gift. So, Jill, we are so grateful to have you on our Convos for Connections today. How is your day going?
Oh, Tina Marie, thank you so much, first of all, for inviting me and I love speaking with you. And sometimes we always don't get to connect. So, how fun is this? With that, my day is awesome. It is what is today. My dad has always come up with whatever day it is, then you do an adjective on the day. So I think we're at Thursday. It is tremendously terrific.
Fabulous. We could say taco or nacho Thursday and then
Right,
invite Sandy Harvey
absolutely.
to join us. That would be great. Oh my goodness, Jill. So, as part of our HRUnite Convos for Connection, we ask everybody two questions. Since we've been doing this for a few weeks, you're already well versed at what those two questions are going to be. But we cannot wait for you to tell us your story and how and what led you to be a steward of people.
I love this question, and I gave a lot of thought to this, and I was like thinking about my professional career. And really, when it started, was actually in the theater. So, I got a performing arts scholarship to the university that I went to, thinking that I was going to be on the stage. And when I got to school, I ended up finding out that I was so much better behind the scenes. And then after college, I ended up becoming a stage manager. And I love helping people literally shine. I love giving people access to what they need and to help them uncover their voice and how would they do really well. So being that stage manager, I was able to provide lights and direction and sound and literally put them up on a stage. And since then, it has just morphed into helping people really continue to uncover who they are and to use that to be their best selves. I talk about being more you all the time.
And I absolutely love that. That whole aspect of sometimes we find ourselves as people supporting other people in different ways. And your love of the theater, your ability to help connect people with stories, because you are such an amazing storyteller. Why am I not surprised? Of course, I knew about your background, but it is should be not be surprising that you are a natural performer or wanting to help bring people together through the concept of telling a story. And now you use that for the power of good for helping us own our own stories, which is such a wonderful gift. So thank you for sharing that. Not just I've benefited, but so many others that have benefited from your ability to share those gifts with others.
It's fun to think about how did you get here? I do a class called Path, and really we all take a different, we have a plethora of paths in our lives. We're mothers, we're daughters, we're educators, we're absorbers of the learning, and to really help people understand where they are in their current path and how to keep that momentum going. I would say. And really, yes, you mentioned that I was a Gallup certified strengths coach. I love focusing on what people do really well, those natural talents, and how can you make them brighter, more mature, and lean into it so that you can do what you want to do in the way that works best for you, not for somebody else. But how can you get it done in your own way?
What I love about this, so I'm going to share a little story about when I first met Jill in South Bend, Indiana, and my oldest son, Kirk, was with me. So we went on an HRUnite together, and Kirk is now studying at an amazing school in Northern Ohio. I am a proud BGSU Falcon mom, but he is in a school of education there, but he was in high school at the time. And what Jill did was kind of take those those Gallup strengths, his top five, but kind of apply about how that would make him a great facilitator and great educator. And you gave him such great pointers. And Jill, I just want to say that he is doing placements right now and he is rocking it. He is such a great, he's using all of those, his analyzer, his ability to help people get excited in the classroom. He is not a woo, but he just came from a woo. Uh, but I say that with all sincerity, like your ability for people to find, and again, this was a 17-year-old high school senior at the time when you met him, and he loved having that conversation with you, and it resonated with him years later. Like literally, he is using some of the highlights up here, Kirk. Here's how you naturally adapt, and he's using them, and he used them this morning. So, thank you for sharing that gifts. So. I love the fact about your story and how you went down a path and then another door opened and then another door opened and it evolved to where you are today. So if there was one moment, which I know there's many, but if there was one moment that really shaped your career or had the most impact or influence, what was it?
I was working at an employee benefits firm and I was the sales operations manager. And I was at that time in a team of one. And so I ended up building my team and becoming a manager of this crazy team was probably one of the best experiences of my life. Like, I found that moment where I could use my strengths. I have high relator, intellection, futuristic, strategic, and I was able to, in individualization, work with a group of individuals on a project and really just help them grow and learn. And I love supporting them every single day.
I love that. And so you took a non-traditional experience and you allowed that, leaned in, sounds like you leaned in to that experience, charted the unknown, but celebrated that as a team. And I'm sure you still talk to those people to this day, knowing you, correct?
Well, yes. And one of the biggest compliments that I had, so I worked with them for almost 10 years, that team. And when I went back or, connecting with them afterwards, every meeting that I started with was tell me something good. It didn't matter. It didn't have to be professional. It didn't matter what it was, but I went around the room and I said, tell me something good. They're still using that today. So I think I made an impact.
Of course you did. And when you say tell me something good, I have a song that just popped in my.
Yes. Should tell me something good.
Oh my goodness. Well, Jill, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. And for those that have not ever had the opportunity to attend one of Jill's workshops or a breakout session, or just have the opportunity to have just a conversation like we're having today, I will tell you that every time we talk, Jill, I literally become more inspired and more focused. And it always makes my day better. So thank you for making my day and thank you for sharing your story. And I would encourage you to follow Jill on LinkedIn or other social media channels. And at the end of our conversation, I'm going to give you the chance to do so when you can just scan that QR code and link right up to her. As well as Jill, Oh, forgot to ask you, speaking of connections, is there somebody that you can think in your network that, wow, everybody should really know and connect with this person? Is there somebody you want to give a shout out to?
You know, the first person that comes to my mind right now, she is a dear friend of mine and an amazing person, and you know her as well, Katie Taylor.
So
People
I
need,
do know Katie Taylor very, very well. She is in my accountability circle.
yes.
And ironically, I am drinking from a Yeti that Katie Taylor gave me from her company. But Katie is indeed an amazing person. So if you're in the Michigan HR community,
Yes.
and Katie, for those that are not familiar with HRUnite, we started with these coffee talkies and started gathering on the third Friday of the month. And it happened in September, like one September Friday, we all gathered. And Katie has been part of the OG group for 7+ years. And
I
so,
love it.
Katie, we want to celebrate you.
Yes.
She's an amazing people leader. She is a believer of empowerment in her teams that she leads, and she is always being of service to others. So, Katie
Always.
Taylor, the shout outs from you, from two people that absolutely love you.
Absolutely. Katie Taylor.
Fabulous. Well, Jill, thank you for spending time with us today. We are so fortunate to hear your story. We cannot wait to celebrate and share other stories here on HRUnite Convos for Connections. And for those that do like walks along the Cass River, butter noodles in July, maybe visiting Bronner's, the world's largest Christmas store in the entire world. Maybe you should check us out in July in Frankenmuth for an HRUnite conference, some summer or some July in the future.
One of the best conferences out there.